Hi, everyone. Kind of late. Um, had a visitor tonight. Came knocking on my door while I was still in bed. Usually around here on the res, there's always people roaming late at night, um, drinking and drugging. There's bootleggers and drug dealers all around me outside different houses real close by. And still while others bring their own drinks from town, Winslow, Flagstaff, and this guy came by all drunk, and he's not gonna remember that he came by. This is a half gallon of whiskey, Canadian. Anyway, I used to drink these like 3 of these a week, and I would drink hard. Right, sometimes I like him. I wouldn't even have a chaser for it, and it doesn't bother me anymore to be this close to these things. And whereas before I would probably already be drinking it. It would be gone by now, and I know where it leads. It would ruin me big time. So it's real cold right now, and I used to roam around late at night outside and in the village and freeze ass. I wear a prosthetic leg, and my leg would get really freaking cold, and I had nowhere to go, and I didn't want to share my drinks with anyone, so I would go sleep in my trailer outside. It's not there anymore, but I used to go in there and drink, crawl into my sleeping bag, and no heat, nothing in there, just lay in the dark and drink. Most of the time, I would already have nothing by the time I came home. And excuse me, the next morning I would be so sick, and I mean really, really hungover. It would take days to get over the hangover. No money to buy anymore or cure my hangover. It was extremely dangerous because I should have been dead these few times. Oh God, I'm, I'm just so glad that I don't drink no more. I'm just so glad I don't wake up sick anymore. Um, I enjoy the food, the drinks, um, the juice, the fruit, everything. Um, I have more clarity with these things that happen every day, and know how to deal with it and not run away from these things anymore, and um, not have this fear inside of me anymore like I used to. I don't really worry about what people say or think anymore. So that don't bother me. I feel real calm, and it's before when I was here, I stay in this house all by myself. There's no running water or electricity. Right now, I'm just using this light. It's a rechargeable light. It changes colors. See, I use it for my jewelry too, and I just charged it up a while ago, and I was actually in bed when he showed up. I'm not gonna say any names. I don't like to use names, so he's not gonna remember coming over. He's not gonna remember leaving his drink here, and I'm not gonna give it back either. Um, he's gonna have to deal with it, all the sickness tomorrow morning. He's gonna. He was really wasted. As you can see, he drank more than half of it. Uh, so, excuse me. Alcohol is illegal here on the Hopi reservation, and not supposed to have any. But a lot of people get away with it, and they've been bootlegging since I was a little boy. And I remember I used to find my dad's liquor, his T-Bird, and all this other drinks that he used to have hidden outside. My mom never allowed him to drink, so he would take off and drink somewhere else. He would come home all sick, and my mom would badger him real bad. And I think um, that if she just kept quiet and let him rest, let him sleep, things wouldn't have happened the way it did, because the more she berated him, the more she yelled at him and stuff. You don't do that to someone that's drinking, to someone that's hungover, real sick, someone who's mentally ill from the war and stuff, because he went to Vietnam. And he turned around and beat her up real bad. He would throw her around, bang her head against the wall, and all these horrible things to shut her up. I think maybe if she just left him alone, everything would have been all right. But I, my sisters and I, we witnessed a lot of really traumatic abuse from our dad, our stepdad actually. When we were growing up, he married our mother when my sister and I, when I was only a year old and my sister was 2 years old. And it was really bad when he drank. He was a happy drunk. He was always clowning around. He never fought anybody. It was just when he came home really sick and drunk, my mom just took it too far. It's like she made everything happen to her, the just by yelling at him and things like that. Um, so we grew up with a lot of alcohol, not a lot of marijuana really, and later on then it turned into acid and coke and things like that. But that wasn't till after I got into high school. Um, so this friend of mine that came tonight, uh, I used to talk to him a lot because he wanted to get help with his alcoholism, but uh, throughout the years, these past 6, 7 years, um, things changed. He changed, and his alcoholism got worse. Now it's just like it's getting further more out of hand, and it's just slowly consuming him now. As they say, um, the alcohol. Wait a minute. The man takes a drink. The drink takes a drink, and then the drink takes the man. So I think with him, it's already at a point where he can't control it, and it's it's ruining his life and the people around him. And I know where it's gonna lead to if he doesn't seek help right away. I talk to his mom every now and then. I don't really see her that often anymore because of right now it's pretty cold, so um I don't really see her around that much. It's usually during the dances and the summertime when I would see her. So maybe I don't know. I usually don't bother anyone, the other family members, about their loved ones' alcoholism. Um, Most of them, of course, can't do anything to try to change them. The only times that I would go and talk to these people is if they get like hurt physically, or if they end up getting into a verbal confrontation with their loved ones. Then I would go over and talk with the parents, or the grandparents, and at least warn them of what could possibly happen if they say things or do things the wrong way. Um, More like the dynamics of how to treat their alcoholic loved ones, um, and how to learn how to support them if they were to choose to start working on sobriety for themselves. It's real hard out here. There's no jobs. There's no school. You can do online, but you have to have a really good Wi-Fi. The connections out here are horrible. This video is probably gonna take good 3 to 4 hours to upload. When the connection goes out, then it starts to upload all over again. So it takes time to upload these videos. I don't have Wi-Fi here. I just have um a solar panel. I have a small extension cord from my mom's trailer where I listen to music. So my stereo is lit up over here, and right now watching the movie Twister. The disc was stuck and it just came back on. Hold on. I won't pause it yet. but there's really no lights in here. They turned off all the power because of this house is really old, and there's no, the electric lines in here are real bad. The power surges and things like that, and it just doesn't work right. So they turned off all the power to this house. The pipes, the water lines kept um, freezing up, and they kept popping out of the walls, and it would get flooded in here. So, and then the water department would end up coming over and shutting the whole place down again. And it happened several times already, so many years in a row, and so now they just shut it off completely. So there's no running water in here, and